When you think about dealing with a lawyer, what comes to mind? Probably a ton of emails, endless phone tag, and stacks of paper, right? Well, that entire experience is about to be completely turned on its head. Today, we're going to dive into LegalScout, a company that's building what they call the AI native law firm.
And wow, they are not messing around with their ambitions. This quote, pulled right from their pitch deck, isn't just them guessing what might happen. No, this is a full-on declaration. They're basically saying that the very foundation of the legal industry, the reliance on people doing everything by hand, is about to just crumble.
Okay, so it's one thing to picture AI shaking up those giant, high-rise corporate law firms. We can all see that happening. But what about the small firms? The solo lawyer down the street who might have helped you with your will, or the small practice that handled your first business contract. What does this massive AI revolution mean for them?
All right, let's get right to the heart of the problem. For centuries, the whole legal world has run on one single thing, the billable hour. Time is money. But what happens when an AI can do in, say, 5 minutes what it used to take a brand new lawyer 5 hours to research and write up? That's the huge challenge firms are facing right now.
And look, this isn't just some small headache. For a lot of these firms, it's a real existential threat. The old playbook of just billing for your time is starting to fall apart. These firms are now in a position where they have to find a totally new way to work, or they're just going to get left in the dust.
So where is the money actually going? How are these firms losing revenue? Well, LegalScout pinpointed 3 major ways that cash is just slipping right through the cracks, and a lot of the time, firms don't even see it happening.
So here's what LegalScout says is going on. Number 1, a potential client has a problem, they call it 6 p.m. They get a voicemail, and they just hang up and call the next person on the list. Boom, lead gone. Number 2, lawyers are just drowning in work they can't even bill for. And number 3, their ability to make money is completely capped by the number of hours in the day. There's no way to scale.
Okay, now get ready for this number. 34%. Just let that sit there for a second. 34. According to LegalScout's research, that's how much of a lawyer's day is actually spent on work they can bill for. Think about it. That means less than a third of their time is actually making the firm money.
So, what on earth is happening with the other 66% of the day? Well, it's getting eaten alive by admin tasks. Chasing down documents from clients, updating case files, just all the logistical stuff that has to get done. It's a colossal waste of their most valuable asset, the lawyer's actual brainpower and time. And this right here is where LegalScout steps in. They're positioning themselves as the solution to all these deep-rooted problems. They've built an entire AI-powered platform designed specifically to go after these exact inefficiencies.
So here's the big vision. They want LegalScout to be the operating system for a totally new breed of law firm. We're not talking about a firm that just uses a little AI here and there. No, we're talking about a firm that is literally built on top of AI. A firm that can actually grow, and a firm that is, for all intents and purposes, always open.
So what is this thing, really? Well, LegalScout is this all-in-one platform that has what they call AI associates. The best way to think about them is like digital paralegals. They can handle specific jobs, like taking on those initial client calls 24/7, or automatically sorting and filing documents the second they come in.
All right, so that's the 30,000-foot view. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How does this thing actually work? We're going to break down the 3 main parts of the LegalScout platform and see exactly how each one solves one of those big problems we just talked about.
First up, we've got the front office. So, remember that whole problem of losing leads after 5 p.m.? This is the fix. It's an AI-powered intake system that is literally always on, 24/7. It can grab new clients from a phone call or a web chat. Doesn't matter if it's 3 p.m. or 3 a.m.
And check this out. This is what it produces. The AI isn't just taking a name and number. Oh no. It's basically conducting an initial interview, pulling out all the important info, and then automatically creating a super organized consultation brief, just like this one. So the lawyer wakes up and has all the key details, without having to type a single thing.
Okay, next up is case management. This part of the platform takes direct aim at that crazy 34% number we saw earlier. Its whole job is to automate all that administrative grunt work that just completely swamps lawyers. And one of the coolest features here is something they call the ball in court system. You can see it right here. It's this incredibly simple visual way to know exactly who's supposed to do the next thing in a case. Is it the client's turn, the lawyer's, or an AI's? It just completely gets rid of that mental load of trying to remember where every single case stands.
And finally, the third piece of the puzzle, law products. This is their answer to that last big problem, right? The fact that there's no way to scale. This lets firms finally break free from the billable hour by turning their common services into fixed-price products that people can just buy.
And this dashboard shows you exactly how it works. A client can just hop on the firm's website, buy something like a standard contract review for a flat fee, and kick off the whole process by themselves. I mean, the firm is literally making money while the lawyers are asleep. It's a game changer.
Okay, so we've seen the three main pieces. Let's zoom back out for a second and see how they all fit together. Because when you combine them, you get a totally new kind of law firm, one that runs on a single, seamless, AI-powered workflow. The really critical idea here is what they call a flywheel. These three parts aren't just separate tools, they actually power each other. So the front office grabs a new lead. That lead flows right into the case management system, and then maybe down the line, that same client buys a fixed-price legal product. You see? It's this cycle that just keeps feeding itself and growing.
And when you put LegalScout side by side with the old-school solutions, like in this chart here, the difference is just night and day, right? The older tools might handle one little piece of the puzzle, like taking messages or maybe some clunky case tracking, but LegalScout brings it all together under one roof, with AI woven into every single part.
So if you boil it all down, their big advantage comes down to four key things. You get a dedicated AI associate for your firm. You get real-time dossier creation, basically instant organized case files. You have that amazing visual ball-in-court tracking. And then the real kicker, the ability to sell these asynchronous, productized services around the clock.
And that brings us to a really big final question to think about. As platforms like LegalScout become the norm, are we moving into a future where AI isn't just another tool a lawyer has in their toolbox, but it's actually their most essential partner, their number one associate? That is a massive shift, and it's really something to chew on.